Hello, RF Bumpus Middle School. My name is Meredith Foreman, and I am one of the adjudicators for the National Jazz Festival 2023. I'm here to give you a few more comments to work in companion with the electronic copies that you guys will receive from myself and from another judge as well. So here we go, let's jump right in. First, an Alligator Alley. I like to say you guys did a very great job getting the party started here. It was very energetic, very cool groove that you guys laid down. I say if you were gonna bump this up to the next level, perhaps get the drummer or the conga player to crash at the start of every solo. So I noticed that after a while, it was a similar sound palette just going on for a very long time because the tune is pretty much just a groove-in tune in this particular style. So if you could get the drummer or conga player, any percussionist that has an extra hand to crash every time you have a new soloist, it'll just give a new color and it'll introduce a new sound color, whether it's a woodwind or a brass player or a percussionist or rhythm section player. Keep working to add dynamics to lines and phrases, even in places that are not indicated in the score or in the music. So for instance, every time you have a line of music, that line wants to do something. It either wants to swell and move on to the next phrase, or it wants to swell and come down dynamically, in decrescendo, to make room for the next phrase that's coming. But try to think of ways that you can manipulate these lines a little bit more. This will help bring out some of the melodic parts a little bit more. Also, I think in general with you guys, there's so many players in this band, which is amazing for jazz. So great. It's probably the biggest band I've seen. It's so great to have so many students introduced to this music. Perhaps you can figure out places where not everyone is playing all the time. For instance, if there is a moment where you can narrow it down to maybe 3 saxes, 3 trombones, and 3 trumpet players for just a section of the tune. That would also help with adding to that dynamic contrast that we're looking for. And then have everyone perhaps come back in on impact moments, or just when you want to restate the melody, if it's written that way, then it can be louder the second time because everyone is playing. Think of different ways. That could just be all the dynamic contrast that we need to just bring it to the next level. Moving on to Basically Bassy, I really love this tune. It was definitely a throwback to the bassy style of playing. And so this would be a nice tune to actually incorporate what I was just mentioning, perhaps. Since there are times where it goes between the piano player and the band or the horn line, perhaps you can find places where the horn line can be stripped down a little bit more to match more the tonality of the piano, being that it's a little bit softer as one player. And then as the tune progresses, or if there's a big impact moment in the tune, the full band could come in and give that moment. So in addition to those comments, I'd say anytime you have dotted quarter notes on the end of count 3, just make sure you pay attention to the way they are approached or accented. Generally speaking, they are emphasized. So if you have ba, ba, be, ba, ba, usually that note should pop out a little bit more. It's just the way that the jazz phrase typically goes. Anytime you see dotted quarter notes on the end of count 3. I heard a lot of that in this music, so you want to make sure you focus on that. Make it a little bit more explosive, all right? Moving on to Watermelon Man, another really great tune and a great arrangement by Mike Kamuff. This is a great groove tune, and the rhythm section really did a great job of owning that groove and that rhythm. Really, really nice soloist all the way across the board. I particularly love the way Alana approached her solo with a little bit more grit. She played stylistically really, really beautiful. And yeah, keep on moving, Alana. Keep on working. Don't ever give up because you got a lot of potential within you. Let's see, the trombone section. After the solo section, there's some moments where I believe the trombone section and the tenor saxes have something going on, and then the rest of the band has another phrase, and it's kind of conversing with one another. Make sure that you take a look at those that spot so that you can match the style of the notes between the trombone section and the saxophones. It sounded like they weren't quite agreeing on the lengths of the notes or perhaps on the style of the notes themselves, all right? And then just put a little bit more weight on the very last note of the whole tune. You guys have bop. I think it's one of these type of accents, so you want it to be a little bit fatter, a little bit weightier. It's almost as if the band they almost dropped the ball on that last note. So you want to make sure that it sounds confident and meaningful, okay? Moving on to Pollo Rojo, make sure that the intro sounds like an intro. It has to draw you in somehow. Typically, intros either want to do something, they want to be exciting and loud and in your face, or they want to draw you in slowly because it's going to move into a softer, more lyrical section. So figure out what the mood of this particular tune is in the opener and make sure that the band commits to making it be that. Then after that, there's a contrasting section. What does the next part after the intro want to come down slightly, or does it want to move forward? But just make sure you hit that intro a little bit harder, and that's going to be next level stuff for that tune. Natalia, really nice alto sax solo. And this particular band, I noticed along the way that it was very difficult to hear the vibes. So you may either want to throw a microphone over there. I noticed you had an extra one on the side for the soloist, or try harder mallets. Maybe that might do the job. It sounded like it looked as if the player really knew her parts and knew exactly what was going on. I just wish I could hear it more. And keep on working. I think that this band is so much potential. I love, again, the fact that there are so many players in that band who all seem to be loving it and having a great time playing the music. The rhythm section's always grooving, almost dancing in the back. And I really appreciate that you had an audience there as well. Some parents, I suppose, who were there to support the kids and just continue to show the love of this music. So again, I'd like to thank you guys for participating in this year's National Jazz Festival. And I wish you guys the best of luck in the future. And I really hope to see you guys again next year. Take care.